Hey guys, so today I want to show you guys how to take an old Magsafe 1 or even a newer Magsafe 2 charger and make it so it can charge either type of laptop. So I've been doing this on my laptops for a couple of years because basically I have a bunch of the old Mac laptops that use Magsafe 1 and, well, at least one new Mac laptop that takes Magsafe 2. And it's always really annoying for me to have to make sure I have the right charger for the right laptop, or if I'm going on vacation to bring the correct charger for my laptop and the correct charger for my girlfriend's laptop. You know, it just, why have two different chargers if they're both basically exactly the same? So what I've been doing is taking these chargers, the old ones, the Magsafe 1 chargers. So what I've been doing is taking these old MacBook 1 chargers, the Magsafe 1 chargers, and basically cutting the cable and splitting it into one Magsafe 1 charger cable and the other side a Magsafe 2 cable. And it just eliminates a lot of problems. It makes it so that I can charge whatever laptop is at my hands, and I never have to worry about whether or not a charger is able to charge that laptop. So these replacement cables, you can find both Magsafe 1 and 2 replacement cables on eBay or Amazon, and they're knockoffs probably, but they work well, and I've never had any problem with them. And honestly, you know, a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, if you have the Magsafe 1 charger, you can just get these little bricks from Apple for like 15, 20 bucks. But they make it for a really bulky charging attachment, and they come apart easily, and I'm not a big fan of these. And they're also like 15, 20 bucks. I think when I bought them, they were 30, but I think Apple's taken them down a bit. But either way, this here is at least the same price as just buying a new cable. On eBay, these are like between 10 and 20 bucks a piece. So I often will just go and buy 2 or 3 of these and just keep them stashed away. And it's really useful to have them around. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're basically going to just make a splitter so that our one power cable splits off into both Magsafe 1 and 2 chargers. So I got my soldering iron, I got some clippers here, and we're gonna take a crack at it. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm just basically taking them and figuring out how much length I want the split to be. And what I'm also doing is making sure that they're not the same length. I want one to be a little bit longer than the other. And this just basically is a little safety measure to make it harder for these guys to like touch and potentially spark off of each other. Because the one sort of safety thing with these are that when you plug it in, when one is plugged in, this other one is going to be live as well. So when you're charging your MacBook off of this one, this is also going to have whatever 18 volts at 3 or 4 amps flowing through it. And if those little pogo pins there touch your laptop or another piece of metal, they can arc. I've had it happen a couple of times, but it's usually at most it just sort of shuts down the charger until you unplug it and replug it in. But it doesn't happen that often, and as long as you're kind of smart about it, it's not really very dangerous. The other thing I will note is that just because you have 2 ends by the end of this, it's not able to charge 2 laptops at once. Don't do it. It's just a bad idea. The charger will, assuming it's a legitimate OEM Apple charger, it will thermally shut down if it gets too hot or if there's overcurrent. But come on, guys, we're splitting a single charger into 2 chargers. It doesn't mean it's going to charge 2 things at once. So with that, yeah, let's get on with it. So on the inside of these chargers, there's an outer sheathing, and then once you take that outer sheathing off, there's then it's the ground connection. So this outer core here is the ground. And also on the inside is sort of this string. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's basically a strain relief. And you can just go ahead and cut that off if you want. It doesn't really hinder anything, but you might as well kind of get rid of it. And then the inner core is your positive connection. So we have ground and we have positive. So I'm going to go ahead and just strip all the rest of these wires here. And all of these power, here's from the charger, here's the new one, and here's the old one. They're all the exact same on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and strip off these other ones. Alright, so now I have all three, my 2 plugs plus the power cord, all cut and stripped, and you can see they all have that big piece of ground that I pulled off, and each have their positives as well. So all I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to take the grounds and just twist them together in one big clump. And do the same with all of these positives. Just one big clump. So now everything is electrically, technically connected, but obviously we're not finished yet because I have this soldering iron here. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint these up with a little bit of flux and solder, put just a ton of solder and make some big heavy solder connections there. Alright, so now everything is pretty solidly connected, but we have to take care of these big hunks of excess metal here, excess wire. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip off until I'm just kind of left with 2 big stubs. And now all we gotta do is just wrap this in electrical tape and we're all done. And you can see here that I'm actually forcing the 2 sides to be sort of separated. So even if my taping isn't very good or clean, it's unlikely that this power here has any way of really touching the ground. And there we go. So now we got a nice little Y-splitter Mac charger. And to prove it works, I'll plug in the charger and show you on my own Mac. So here we got my current Mac, and this has the Magsafe 2 port on it. And I'll just zoom in a little bit on the connector here so you can see it. And I'll pop it in. And there we go, turn green and back to orange, and it's charging. And to prove the old one still works, I don't have one of my old Macbooks around, but I'll put on the adapter that I don't like. Pop it in, and, well, it's hard to see, but there you go, there you can see the orange. So yeah, it's a really cool, convenient way to make yourself a split Mac charger that can do either the old or the new chargers. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel. Alright, I'll see you guys later.